You have options. You may not think that you do, but you do. Everything that you want to do, if you are willing to do what it takes, you will find a way. Military education benefits is not always what it seems to be. It's a lure to entice you into enlisting in the military. Hi, I'm Gary. I'm your host. This is Military Illumination, where we discuss and talk about the things relative to military enlistment and illuminate the challenges, the misconceptions that are being hidden by the military recruiters. This podcast is for anyone who's considering a military career or maybe knows someone who's considering and want to be there by their side and help them make a decision. But most importantly, it's for anyone who's interested in just understanding the military recruitment systems and the pitfalls. We've been talking in the last 4 episodes about the education and the benefits. We're talking about a lot of the benefits the military talks about, and one of them is education. In the last 3 episodes, we've just been shedding some light on the misconceptions and the usage of phrases and words to help you to military recruiters use to get you to associate what they're offering with what you think they're offering. This episode is gonna be focused on solutions and options. It really comes down to being proactive, taking the control away from the military recruiters, and putting them back in your hands. It's a way to look at their advertisements and be able to pull it apart to see if it really is military recruiting, military service is really for you. So being proactive in your education, it doesn't always mean that. Basically what it means, I guess we'll say, is that you have to be old school. Okay. There's this thing called the law of the farm. It means there's a time for plowing, there's a time for planting, there's a time for cultivating, and a time for harvesting. Everything is in order. And the same can be true about your education. If that's what you're looking to do, everything in season, in time, will produce the harvest or the diploma that you're seeking. So what the military is offering you is that they're basically, by saying, okay, we'll pay for this, we'll give you a benefit that's going to be recognized at a later date and time. But in the present moment, you're working for us. You're going to serve in the military. You're going to have a job. We're going to control your life. We're going to control your time. We're going to control everything about your life because we are the military. But the trade-off is that when you're done, you can pursue what you want to pursue, which is education, and we will provide the things you need for that at the back end. Okay, think about that. Who's getting the best end of the deal? They're getting a young person at the height of their life. By the time person finishes their 8-year commitment, yes, I keep saying the 8-year commitment, they may go for 3, make it 4, whatever, but you're on the hook for 8 years. Read the contract. So everything I'm going to mention is 8 years. Okay? At the end of the 8 years, are you going to be the same person that you are when you first go in? Meaning 0 debt, 0 responsibilities, and a lot of energy. Or would you have maybe accumulated some debt, accumulated some relationships, accumulated some experiences that you much rather forget that may prohibit you from being able to go back to school? That's what you got to ask yourself. The question is this: am I willing to put my life on hold for 8 years to earn a degree that I will be behind the curve when I graduate? Meaning a person take two students graduating. One goes and serves in the military for 8 years. One goes to college. At the end of the 4 years, okay, the person who went to college will have a degree and now they're in the workforce. The person in the military is still halfway through their military service. They get out of 8 years. I keep saying 8 years. Read the contract. They get out at 8 years. Now you're starting your college degree with benefits that does not have an inflation rider on it, which means that the cost of your is going to exceed what the benefit the military offers you. But they're okay with it. They've got the best. They got the best out of you, and you're probably not worth anything to them, anyways. Right? Okay, so let's be proactive. So let's be proactive. You can obviously. Here's some solutions. I'm gonna give you some solutions. You can work your way through college. Yeah, old school mentality. Start out with your undergraduate degree, 2-year school. Work your way. It's cheaper. You work your way through college. In the meantime, you're also applying. Okay, take advantage of your numerous scholarships and grants. There's free money out there. If you're willing to write essays, right? If you're willing to work for companies that will give you scholarship, yes, companies will give you scholarship money. Okay. Yes, there's grants. It means that you don't have to pay it back. If you would qualify for it. You just gotta be willing to put in the time to write the essays, to fill the application. There's free money out there. There's degrees that you can get to offer you to pay off your student loans. One of them is education. Sometimes if you work in the low income areas, right, your degree could be paid off after you make like 120 qualified payments. Okay, now you're in the field, earning money, earning retirement, and at the end of the time, the government's going to pay it off for you, or pay a large sum of it off for you. You can pay as you go. Yeah, you may have to miss it. Just pay as you go. If you have to stay at home with your folks, pay as you go. Get a job. Get 2 jobs. But the thing about it is that you're not giving up your freedoms. You're not putting your life on hold. Okay? And if you find out that education isn't for you, you haven't lost anything. You just move on. In the military, you find that the military isn't for you, you got 8 years to do. Okay? A lot of schools have things like Running Start programs or other types of programs, vocational programs that you can get into. That can give you the vocational training that you can get right out of high school into these certain jobs, entry-level jobs, that's going to pay for tuition assistance. That's going to pay for it. The companies will do that all the time. There's free money out there. Don't be a deer in the headlights when the military comes and say they're going to pay for college, right? Don't. And you don't have to go into the military right away. Who says you have to go into the military after you graduate that summer? Who says you have to? You got to be like 33 years old to do that. Why not live life up? There's companies that offer tuition assistance. You can start a savings program and ask family to chip in. What I'm getting at is the military benefit education isn't the only game in town. You're always going to have to pay up. You're going to have to pay either up front or in the back end. You're going to have to pay. If you're proactive, you can pay as you go. You can get a job. That's essentially what you're doing in the military. They give you a job and you just pay as you go, right? But you still have your freedoms. You're not being locked into anything. So take a long-term view about your education. Maybe make amends with your family. Make it to where you don't burn bridges, right? Or if you're outside, you're an older person, look at your options. There's a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of jobs that you can. I'm rambling on now. They're rambling on. You can start a junior college. You don't have to give up 8 years of your life to get that benefit. If you're going to serve, then serve. Don't serve because they're giving you something. That is a mistake. If you want to serve, then serve. Then none of this matters. Just go serve. Okay? Also know the nasty 4 is waiting for you. I told you about the nasty 4. The military, you're not going to get away with it. They're going to get you one way or the other. Okay? So my story, what's my connection to this? Essentially what I did was I worked my way to college. Why? I was working a job, which was the military, and I was going to school at nighttime. They gave me the tuition assistance. It was a reduced amount. Okay. But I still had to pay into it. And I worked my way through college, essentially. The other part of it, yep. So even if I was a VA rehabilitation, I still worked my way through the college. I had a job, and I worked my way through. Had I not gone for my master's, I wouldn't have had no college debt. It's paid for. So this is a short one. There's not much to say on it, really. Being proactive is it's be proactive. The military career's job is to get you in the military at all costs. Understanding that Farris Doctrine overrides anything that they say or in their paperwork. It's a unilateral contract, means that you're only the ones that has to abide by it. The government and the military do not have to follow the contract. And there's nothing you can do about it. And that's the Farris Doctrine. And you can Google that. Farris Doctrine, military contracts. So unilateral. That means the government and the military does not have to abide by it, but you do. A person who's in the military has to. Education system, when you look at the education benefits, is that it really is a benefit? I'm going to leave you with this. Is it really a benefit if there's no inflationary guarantees that you have to give up 8 years of your life to get back 1%? Okay. By the time you get out, you're so far behind, it doesn't matter. And maybe you don't want to go back to school. Maybe you just, you took 8 years to figure that out. There's a lot of high school career counselors, they bring those military people in, they give you the ads, they slap you in. Now they got your number and they got everything about you. And everything moves so fast when you're a high schooler that you don't have enough time to breathe. Parents want you out of the house because you're growing. You want to get out of the house because you're growing. So the school counselor wants you to introduce you to the recruiters so they can get you off their books. And in the graduation, now you're in the military at 18 years old with a big future ahead of you. That you're no longer an active participant. You move at the sound of the marching band. You're not in control of your life anymore. The military is to tell you where to go, when to do it, and how to do it. And it's something to think about. So I think I covered a little bit I think I covered enough right now as far as the education benefits. When we talk about all the other benefits, and understand the benefit is something to entice you to sign on the dotted line. It entices you to take action. But a lot of companies have these benefits. A lot of major companies have education benefits. Okay. You go to vocational schools, there's training. It's not the only game in town. If the main reason why you're going to the military is to pay for college, get some tuition assistance, then rethink what you're trying to do. Because you ask yourself, is there another more effective way to achieve my goals? And I want to thank you very much. Our next episode is going to be in 14, Retirement, Part 1. Can you truly retire? We eliminate the military benefits and see if it really is a benefit or just a death trap.